record. Okay, so I'm Susan Jarvie, and we're going to do yin yoga today. And I've got a new list of postures that I think you'll really like. I just maybe put this in my pocket. So if you have a blanket or a towel, we're going to start today in a what we call a heart bench. And so with my blanket, it is folded at this square fold. And what I would like you to do is undo it so it's at this longer edged fold. And I'm going to chase my paper. And then what we'll do with this is we're going to fold it in thirds or even quarters, so it's a bit of a roll. And place that on your yoga mat. And then I want you to take the end of it, not the fringe edge, but the folded edge, and just fold it over. And this is going to support your head. And we're going to lie on this. So my little fold's not going to stay, but when I lay on it, it will. I want you to come in front of the blanket so that the fringe in the bottom of the blanket is right at the tailbone. And then take your blocks, keep those handy. And we're going to rest the knees on the blocks. So what I want you to do is once you're lying down, but let me just demonstrate this before you lie down. You'll take the bottom of your feet together in Baddha Konasana, and then take your blocks and put them under the knees. I like to take my block and put it on this corner, this long corner, because that gives my knees a flat surface to rest on. So you can do anything, any way that's most comfortable for you. And if you don't have blocks, you can use shoe boxes or books or even a rolled up towel to support the knees. So that's how your legs will be. But first, we're going to come onto the bottom of the feet with the knees bending so that when we lie back, our back and our spine are supported and are safe. So we'll come down onto the edge of that blanket into the whole spine is resting on the blanket, and then curl that top part so that it becomes a bit of a pillow for your head. And then we'll take the blocks, open the knees to the sides. Grab that block there. And then the arms are going to move away from your body and palms face open. So a heart bench, which is going to give us a heart opening as we just do a few minutes of centering here, coming into this space and kind of waking up this morning. And so once again, arms are away from the body, palms open, and you could close your eyes if you'd like to and come to rest. I'm going to go ahead and sit back up so I can kind of center with you, and I need to grab my clock. So once you are in the posture, go ahead and begin to feel your body sinking and relaxing. Maybe take a nice deep breath. Breathing in long, deep, full, broad. And breathing out, releasing and letting go anything you're holding today. I know we probably have a busy Saturday planned. And so we sometimes start thinking of those things while we're sitting here in our practice. And instead of doing that, let's let that go and guide your attention to come back to breathing. When we breathe in, belly is going to inflate. You can feel your ribs expand and your chest expand. And as you exhale, everything softens and we relax and let go. And we kind of welcome yourself into your practice this morning. It really is a great gift you give yourself before you start your day. Feel the weight of your knees resting on the blocks. Let your hips sink into the earth, heavy. And really feel your spine as it connects to the blanket that you're resting on, the blanket or the towel. Notice how your arms relax into the earth, backs of the hands rest, fingers relax, and our head is supported. And see if you can soften the facial muscles, maybe even turning the lips into a smile, turning the eyes into a smile. And let it be easy. Our yin practice is a practice we do without any muscle engagement. And so we let the muscles rest and we let the muscles feel supported. Supported by the props that are holding you. We relax all the muscles. Notice if you're holding any tension, any place, and see if you can let go. I think we tend to move through our days almost like we're wearing armor, holding, ready for a fight. Notice in your body if there's any place like that that you're holding tension or you're holding those muscles, you're ready. And see if you can soften a little more. Just relax and let go. Let me just have a couple more minutes here. Resting in a heart bench. Finding the breath, breathing in, knowing that you're breathing in light and energy, love. And as you exhale, we're letting go of tension and stress. You know, we do that with the body, but we're also letting go of any emotional stress that we're holding. Anything you're holding, we release, letting it go with the exhale. I'll go ahead and let the breath begin to deepen. And let your knees come up. So we're lifting the knees, the bottom of the feet come onto the floor. And then bring your arms closer to your body, palms facing down. And we'll use the strength of our elbows and our forearms to lift us up. So we keep the knees bent and we're going to lift and come all the way up. And then from this posture, if you'd like to, we'll go ahead and take our arms on our knees and rest our head for just a few breaths. And so we continue to focus on breathing. Let our head rest and breathe into the mid back, even the space at the back of the waistline, breathing in, rounding the spine. Just giving us a little bit of a counter stretch from that heart opening or chest opening that we just did. Notice how you feel scanning the body. And then go ahead and lift your head. And we're going to come into a table position and move into a pigeon posture. So being kind with our knees and our hips. If pigeon is not a posture that your body likes, well, I don't think a lot of us like pigeon, but maybe you have knee considerations. In that case, I will guide you into a reverse pigeon on your back, but let's do this one, or let me guide this one first. And then if you want to do the other one, I'll show that to you. So from our table position, we're going to go ahead and bring the right knee in and maybe hold the ankle and bring your foot up. We want the outer edge of the foot to be close to the outside edge of your mat here on the left side. And then your right knee is going to come somewhere along the right edge of the mat. And in our pigeon postures, the higher your foot is, or the more perpendicular your lower leg is to the top edge of your mat, the more intense the posture is going to be. So once you come into it, if you want to slide your foot down a little bit to make it a little less intense, that's always an option. Have a few blocks handy. We might use those for our arms. And once we have this knee forward, we'll slide that back leg back, and we're going to come here with a straight leg and let the hips begin to sink. And then we stay seated as we inhale and get nice and long, maybe even come up on the fingertips so we get really long in the spine. And then when we exhale, maybe a nice audible exhale, we'll go ahead and move forward, coming forward from the hips and come either onto the forearms, or you can rest your arms on blocks. We can stay here. Forearms are an option. You rest your head on a here. Two. You can lean over to the right hip and bend the left knee. So we're here. That takes a little bit of pressure off. And then what I would like you to do is kind of walk your arms over towards the right so we get a little deeper into the hip. The right or the left? The left sometimes feels better. So find one that's best for you. Now, if this posture that we're doing, this pigeon, is not working for you, feel free to instead come onto your back and do a figure four or a reverse pigeon. We cross the ankle over the knee, lift the foot, and then weave our fingers behind our thigh, pulling that knee, that left knee in as we use the right elbow to press the right knee away from us. And both feet would be, well, let's relax the feet. Since we're doing yin, we'll just relax the feet and hold and breathe. So whichever posture you've chosen, let's go ahead and stay there and find your breath. Now, as always, after a few breaths with these postures, your muscles start to feel a little warmer and a little more open. If you're in whichever pigeon you are in, if you're forward, not on your back, but you're resting on your leg, you feel free to begin to walk your arms forward and maybe let your forehead come to the floor. And if that's not possible, once again, you can rest your head on a block and rest there. And we find our breath. Once again, breathing in, feel the belly expanding, the ribs expanding, and breathing out, letting go of any tension or stress you're feeling. And that right hip, that glute, that right outer hip is going to feel edgy, I would say, edgy. See if you can relax into it and let it be easy. Allowing each exhale to release any tension or stress. Finding your breath, breathing in and breathing out. At some point, if you want to try to bend the back leg, if you haven't already done that, or if you want to walk your arms over to a side, getting a little deeper into the hip, feel free also to do that. So yin poses, they're meant to hold longer and really get into the muscles, but any movement that you want to do to maybe open the hip a little bit and find a good spot, and after a few breaths, maybe move just a little bit subtle little change is going to help you move into these postures. The fidgetiness, fidgety, um, I can't wait to get out of here is not something we're looking for, but the little bit of movement to find the kind of the sweet spot of the posture for your body would be welcome. And just another minute. Notice how the muscles begin to soften as you're breathing, keeping your mind focused here. And then when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and walk our hands in. So we place the hands under the shoulders and come up. If you're on your back in reverse pigeon, you'll simply switch legs. If you're here with me, we'll come up onto the knees very gingerly and carefully. Bring yourself back to table. And once you get to table, I would like you to pause and notice and feel. Just kind of take it all in. Feel the difference in the hips, maybe the knees, even your lower back. Notice where you are in this space. And once you have all of that registered, we'll go ahead and move into the other side. So left knee is going to come forward. And I found it a little easier if I could hold my ankle and lift my foot up here. And remember, our knee is on one edge, the foot is on the other edge of the yoga mat. And we slide the back leg straight back. And find your space in your spine. Inhale, and then as you exhale, from the hip hinge, not from the back, right? We're going to go ahead and fold forward from the hips, coming all the way down to wherever you can go that feels good for you. I always think, where's that first dull achiness that you feel? Pause there. When you feel that first little achy, pause, take a few breaths, maybe ease into the pose, maybe move a little bit, find the sweet spot, and then maybe you can go a little deeper. And we're holding for about 4 minutes. Once again, if you want to take pressure off this bent knee, you can take your back leg and bring it forward slightly. So you're bending that knee and you're really sitting more on the left hip or butt cheek, I guess we could say. And then if you want to walk your arms over to one side, that is also an option. And find the side that works for you. I mean, sometimes the left feels good. Maybe the right feels a little bit better. It just depends. So find the place for your body that feels best. And then again, if you are on your back, you are simply crossing that left ankle over the right thigh, lifting the right foot, and then weaving the fingers behind the right thigh, drawing your right knee in towards the shoulder, using your left elbow to press your left thigh away. And we breathe, really noticing how when you inhale, you're bringing breath all the way down into the belly, and the belly rises, softens, and you're welcome to do a nice a nice sigh, letting go and releasing into the posture. And relax your feet, relax your hands, relax the muscles. And scan your body and notice if there's any armor that you are holding. You're ready for that fight. See if you can relax a little more. Remove the armor. Let it go. If you're in the pigeon posture with your leg under you, remember that you can slide your foot down a little closer to the groin if you'd like to make the posture a little less edgy. Find a place for your head to rest. And breathe. Now, for me, I've noticed that when I bend the back leg, my knee is off my yoga mat and the hard floor causes a little bit of extra sensation in that knee. And so if that's the case for you too, you can always take a blanket or a towel and place it under that knee. And that will make it much more comfortable as you rest here in this posture. Breathing in light, energy, and love, really pressing the breath into the hips. And a sigh, releasing and letting go. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and place the hands under the shoulders and find your way up. And I'd like you to come to a seated posture. So maybe just taking that back leg and bringing it forward. And if you're lying down, of course, we're going to find your way up. And then we're going to move into a seated forward bend. And we have options for our seated forward bend. It's going to be a one-legged seated forward bend. So we'll stretch our legs out in front of us. Keep your blocks handy, 2 blocks. And with the legs stretched out in front, see if you can rotate the hip flesh a little bit. I like to lift my thigh and press the inner thigh down while lifting the outer thigh up. So it's a bit of a twist for the thigh, and then bring my bum back to the floor. And now I'm up on the sit bones of that left side, and we'll do the same with the right, twisting, getting the hip flesh out of the way. So we're sitting nice and tall. And then I want you to please bend your right knee. I'm going to have to turn. Let me turn just this way for you. We'll bend the right knee, bring it the bottom of your foot to the floor, and simply take your knee down. So the sole of your foot is on the inside of your thigh. And then when you're ready, we're going to take both blocks and put them forward. Get nice and tall. Breathe in, and as you exhale, we're going to fold over that leg. And so relax your toes. We want no muscle engagement here. We don't want to go deep into this, the muscles right away. Nothing that's going to be really painful or sharp pinpointing. It's just going to that first place where you feel a little dull, achy, and we can rest our hands on the blocks. Maybe you're even sitting straight up. For some of us, we might be right here, and this is enough. You can feel in the back of your thigh, the hamstring is beginning to stretch. After a few breaths, you might be able to go a little further forward. I do have an option for this bent knee. If you would like to, instead of bringing the knee out to that butterfly, you can take your leg behind you. And we're kind of sitting on, not really sitting on, but the foot is behind us. Let me see if I can get that. There we go. So we're here. Take the knee out to the side a little bit. And from there, now we are also forward folding, resting the forearms or the hands, or maybe you are completely forward. Wherever you are in this posture, we're going to stay and breathe. Breathing in, breathing out. And knowing that you can go a little deeper as your muscles begin to soften. And I want to try to be present to any sensation you're feeling. Be present to that sensation, but try not to clench your muscles or run away from those sensations. So, here once again, with my knee bent behind me, I'm feeling the pressure of the floor under my knee. So, I'm going to go ahead and place a blanket there. When you're here, if your leg is in the half butterfly, you can also put a blanket there if you need to. So, sometimes just placing a rolled blanket under this knee makes it feel a little more accessible. So depending on your hips, some of us, like we talked earlier, the knee is way up high. So the blanket will give you a little support as you rest and relax. Is there any place where you are clenching or engaging muscles? Could you relax just a little more? And then if you'd like to, you could add a little twist to this posture. And that is simply going to be that we're going to take the right arm and lift up and just let the arm dangle over. Just a little side stretch. So it's kind of an open body twist. If you want to twist deeper and go the opposite direction, you could also do that. That requires a little more effort. I would come here and just rest here. Let the arm dangle, let the hands and the fingers relax. It's a nice side stretch, really, from the hips up into the rib cage. And again, if you need to do any kind of movement to get into that sweet spot, feel free to do that. Good. And then we're going to gently find our way up. Take your time. Stretch both legs out in front of you. Wiggle your toes. Maybe pedal it out. Notice how you feel. And then we have a second side. And so now we choose the options of the legs that you'd like to do, bringing that left knee in and either finding your way into the half butterfly or taking that foot back around behind you. Kind of move into the posture, see what feels best for you, and then using the blocks as your support, folding forward and finding your breath, breathing in and breathing out. In yin yoga, our props, actually any yoga, our props are our friends, right? I know that when I first began practicing, oh my gosh, so many years ago, I didn't think I needed any props because, I could do it. I could do everything. I don't need a prop. and, and I slowly figured out that when you use the props, you are supporting your body into the anatomical positions that your body really needs to be in. It's what our body is craving us to do. So using blocks to support you, allowing you to get a little deeper into the muscles. We want to open the muscles and stretch them, giving us a little more space. And finding breath, breathing in oxygen. When you're breathing in, it is oxygen, and that oxygen is going into the muscles. So our whole body needs the oxygen. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, and then breathing out, letting go of any tension or stress, releasing any hold you have on the muscles. And remembering that, the longer we're staying here, maybe you're able to come a little deeper into the posture so I can move my blocks and come down a little further. Or as the option was to take that left arm now up and over and get a little side stretch, just letting the arm dangle, maybe looking to the side or turning your gaze up toward the ceiling, breathing in and out. And where are you clenching your muscles? Scan and notice and release. And go ahead and exhale. Let your arm come down if you were holding and find your way up. Now, if you have your foot behind you, I should have said this the first time. The best way to come out of it, of this posture with your foot behind you, would be to lift your right knee first, kind of tip back, lift the knee, and then reach back behind you and hold your ankle and let your leg come forward. A little more kind to our bodies. Stretch your legs out, flex your toes and your feet. Maybe bounce the knees a little bit. Let your hands rest either on your thighs or on the floor. Close your eyes. Please scan your body and notice what you feel. Maybe a big sigh, releasing and letting go. And then from here, please bring your feet in. So both feet are going to come to the floor, and we're going to take the bottom of the feet together and let the knees butterfly out in Baddha Konasana. Now, again, you feel free to use your blocks, a towel, or a blanket, and place it under the knees if you'd like to, at least for the first couple of breaths or minutes. That way we're not holding. And we know that after a few breaths, we can start to release or let go of those blocks. Weave the fingers together and place them around your toes. See if you can get nice and long. And then as you exhale, we'll move from the hips and move forward, shoulders down and back. And maybe rest your forearms at your legs, your thighs, or your calf muscles. Close your eyes and find your breath here. As you breathe in, feel the belly expanding. As you breathe out, exhale and maybe move a little closer to your feet. Our belly and our chest are reaching for the feet, but not with engaged muscles. We are resting. Notice where you're clenching. Notice what you're feeling. Let your exhale let go of any tension you're holding. And if you'd like to now, you could take those blocks out from under your legs. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out. Just about 3 more breaths. If you are very flexible in your hips, you could reach your arms forward. I know some people can really just lay their chest right out on the floor. If that's you, feel free to go there, or maybe you want to use your blocks in front of you and continue to breathe. That's great, everybody. Good work. Go ahead and find your way up and take your hands to the outer edges of your knees. Lift your knees. Bring your feet together. And then we're going to work through some windshield wiper posture here. So let the feet come a little wider than hip distance. And you're going to rest back on your hands. Maybe I can turn to the side a little bit. There we go. Rest back on your hands. Let the knees drop over to the right. And you'll come up onto the edges of your feet and then lift them back up and go over to the left. If taking your feet wider helps this feel better, windshield wipers are usually wide feet, feel free to do that. I'm going to go back and forth 3 more times, breathing in to lift. Breathing out as you soften and bring the knees down, lifting. Exploring any range of motion that you're feeling. Well, there is range of motion. We just want to explore the sensation in that range. So feeling your hips, noticing how they are different from each other. And over to the left. And so we're going to come back up and over to the right. And let the knees come all the way down. And we're going to pause there. And what you could do, let me see if I can turn. And turn here. I may have my rights and lefts mixed up for you. I'm sorry about that. Usually I'm mirroring people. So if your knees are over to the right, we're going to come down onto our right arm and take the left arm up and over, and we're going to hold here. And so it's a little bit of a twist. Think of pulling the belly in and rotating and then relaxing all the effort. Good. And then walk your hands back in, find your way up, and you'll go over to the left. So my left is going to probably be your right. And so disregard what you're seeing. Go ahead and bring the knees into that windshield wiper, knees down, the sides of the feet are on the floor, and we'll walk our arms around behind us and come to rest and find your breath, breathing in and breathing out. And please walk your hands back in. Let's go ahead and sit for just a minute. We're going to bring our seat onto the floor. Go ahead and stretch your legs out. Wiggle your feet, wiggle your toes. Go ahead and pause, close your eyes. Notice how that feels. And then bring your feet to the floor, bending the knees. And we're going to roll our way down onto our backs. And once you come onto your back, I want you to pause. Let your arms rest next to your sides, palms face down. Close your eyes. Feel your body on the floor. Notice what that feels like. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and bring bring your right knee in. And we'll go ahead and take the hands around that right knee. Stretch your left leg out straight. And we're going to find a twist here. So we'll take the right knee all the way over to the floor, to the left. Now, what I would like you to do is try to take that right hand, put it on the floor, bring the left arm under you, and we're going to hang out here for just a breath like we're laying on the beach, right? So you're resting on your elbow. Your right knee is bending. You're going to rest on the beach for a breath. And then if you'd like to, this is only if you'd like to, you can leave the legs straight, or you can bend this left leg, reach down and see if you can find the ankle or the top of the foot. If you can't reach, then just let the leg remain straight. If you have that, even if you don't have that, if your leg is straight, we're going to go ahead and lie back down. Let the arm come out to the side. So your left arm comes to the side. We're holding our left foot or the left leg is straight. And then we can either keep the right knee bent or we can straighten the right leg. And if you have the flexibility, some of you might be able to reach down and hold the ankle of that right foot. I'm not quite there. I am actually going to keep my right knee bent, and I might even take this blanket and put it under my knee. And then we're going to pause and breathe. If you are not holding your left foot, you've got that left leg straight, go ahead and stretch the right arm out. And you might all look to the right. It's a deep twist. And we'll hold and we'll breathe. We notice that as we're breathing when we're twisting, it is a little bit more difficult. Obviously, we're squishing the diaphragm, and that is what's helping us breathe. We're squishing the belly. So just notice that. It's information for you. Breathing in, and as we exhale, we might think about turning the ribs a little more toward the ceiling. Maybe thinking about reaching the left ribs for that right thigh. And breathing again in and out. Relax your toes and fingers. Scan your body. Find any places where you're holding, anything that feels stress. Relax. Letting go of your armor. Now, when you're ready, go ahead and release your left foot. And we're going to lift that heavy right leg back up to the top. And go ahead and bend both knees, both feet to the floor. Take a breath. Scan your body. Notice what you're feeling. And then we'll move into the second side. So we bring the left knee in, stretch the right leg out straight. And you can always put blankets under knees in any place. So if the knee doesn't quite go all the way to the floor, you can hold a blanket there. We're going to take the left knee, take it over to the right. And then we're going to take this right arm around and come up onto our side like we're going to be hanging out on the beach. And if you've got that, then we'll reach down for that left ankle and we'll lie back. And maybe the right arm stretches out straight, or you can straighten into that left leg, or if you have the flexibility to reach down and hold that ankle or your foot, that's an option. And then, of course, this right leg can be straight instead of bent. So the right leg straight option, you've got the arms out to the sides, palms face up, left knee is bending. You might have a blanket under the left knee at any level that supports that knee. Feel free to do that. The other option is to keep the knees, the left knee bent, and you're holding that foot or ankle. And then again, coming back to your knowledge of a twist, noticing that it is a little more difficult to breathe when we're twisting because we're squishing the diaphragm. And we know that twists are also really good for digestion because we're squishing the internal organs. So our twists help us to digest food. And it is also said that twists help us digest life. twists are also a bit energizing. So we think about that middle of the afternoon sleep that maybe you're feeling like you need a nap or you want to grab some caffeine. Instead of doing that, maybe move to your yoga mat or even sit in a chair and move yourself into a twist. Find a twist, hold and breathe, and then twist the opposite direction. You're giving yourself a nice, good spinal twist. You're stretching the side muscles. That gives you more space for breath. And of course, breath is energy. We have more oxygen, more energy, and we have a better afternoon, right? More awakeness. Just a couple more breaths here. And then release your foot. Lift that heavy left leg back up to the center. Bringing your feet to the floor. We'll stay with the knees bent for a couple of breaths. Good timing. Notice your body on the floor. Notice where you feel a little more space or a little more energy. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the knees into the chest. And you have a lot of options here. You can bring the knees in nice and tight. You can rock a little back and forth. Maybe instead we just lift our head towards our knees and really stretch into the space at the back of the waistline, giving your back a nice deep stretch. Or maybe you can pedal the legs up and down, or move the legs in big circles. That always feels nice for me. And do what feels good for you. Think about what your body's feeling. Scan the body, notice, feel. What are you being asked to do in your body? Just a little bit more hip movement, knees to the chest. Squeeze the knees down. Inhale, float your knees away. Exhale, squeeze the knees down. One more time. A big sigh. From here, we'll go ahead and move into your final posture this morning. Time flies when we're having fun. Stretch your legs out on your yoga mat and take the feet just a little wider than hip distance. And so, what is the best sweet spot? If your feet are on the outside edges of your mat, they're too far. If you were to tip your toes toward the center and your toes touch, your feet are a little too close. So find a place somewhere in the middle. Relax the toes out to the sides. Move your arms away from your body. So not next to your body, but also not as high as your shoulders, somewhere in the middle. That feels good for you. This is going to open your shoulder joint. It allows you to rest on your shoulder blades. And then we close the eyes softly and find the breath. Find the breath as you relax the body. Feel the heels, the hips, the shoulders, the back of the head all relax into the floor. And maybe another big sigh. Breathe in. Let everything go. Soften the muscles of the eyes. Maybe turn the lips into just a gentle smile. Muscles of the face relax. With each exhale, feel the weight of the body soften or sink into your yoga mat, into the earth. Feel gravity drawing your body deeper. Relax. Let this last few minutes of your practice really be easy. There's nothing to do, nothing, nowhere to go. Just breathe. Following the breath, when your attention moves away, notice what pulled your attention away. Maybe it was a sound, or maybe just your attention moving to something different. Notice and congratulate yourself for noticing. And then guide your attention back to breathing, feeling your belly, your chest, and your ribs expanding on the inhale, And narrowing, softening, releasing on the exhale. Now you can stay here as long as you'd like to. I'm going to go ahead and click out. So either resting in Shavasana or finding your way up in your own time. I hope you have a beautiful Saturday, a great weekend, and always remember that your presence matters to everyone around you. So always show up and always be present. I honor the light that is in you. Namaste.